Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is 2:49 in the morning on December 11th, 2021. And I'm here making this video because I'd like to update you on a few things. As many of you know, I haven't posted on my YouTube channel in a while, and I think now is the time to explain why. I did one of these kind of like a few months ago, explaining why I haven't. And at that time, it was because I was experiencing heavy anxiety, depression, stuff like that. Since then, I've been on medication. It's been helping. It hasn't cured me by any means, but it definitely has been helping. But what I want to talk about today is quitting your day job. Because I just did that. My last day working my day job was yesterday. And I'm happy that I did it. Am I going to miss the people I worked with? You bet. Of course. Those were people that I got to know and grow with and become really good friends with over the past 3.5 years. It's been wonderful. I thank them for their friendship, and I thank them for the opportunities that it gave me for my career now. They always say don't quit your day job. Well, sometimes you can, and it's for a good cause. Now, many of you are probably wondering, why the fuck are you making a video saying you're quitting your job? You quit your job, like why? Well, here's why. Some of you may or may not know this. I may have said this to a few people in passing, or I might not have mentioned it to you at all. But I am starting my own business. I am opening a recording studio in Orange County, California. The name of it is going to be called Dark Side Studios. And basically, my goal for this is to record music with good people. If you're a friend of mine, you already know what that's like. I've recorded a few bands underneath my belt already. Some of them are active, some are not yet. That's fine. Either way, I'm still kind of already doing it. The thing with this is, it's been a passion of mine, audio engineering, starting my own business in some way, shape, or form. And I had an epiphany, like, I don't know, a few months ago, where I'm like, fucking A, man. I just need to start. I just need to do it. And there is a way to do it. How am I going to do it? And I'm here to tell you that it's as easy as talking to your parents about it. It's pretty wild. A few months ago, I took a road trip with my dad when I was going through my medical treatment. We took a road trip to kind of get away from the normal shit that we do. And he asked me what I want to do with my life. Now, he didn't mean that in a condescending way. He asked me genuinely, what do you see yourself doing for the rest of your life? And I said, being happy. And he goes, well, what does that mean to you? And I said, all I need is my friends, my family, my music, and that's it. And he's always asked me what I want to do with my music. Do I want to tour? Do I want to be in a band? Do I want to own a recording studio? Do I want to own a recording studio? And I said, yeah, I do want to own a recording studio. I would love to. And he goes, well, what do you need for that? I said, I need a space. He said, well, what about the space you have now? And I go, well, it works great, but I need something for myself, specifically just for myself, to work in, to track bands, to mix, and to master in. And so my dad and his neighbor were talking, and his neighbor said, I have a space that I can clear a bunch of shit out, and he can do it there. And when my dad told me that his neighbor said that, I started crying. Off the phone, of course. I didn't want my dad to hear me crying on the phone. But off the phone, I started crying. Because I don't believe in a lot of things. The idea of manifesting an idea and having it come to fruition is something that I don't really know if I truly believe in. However, this one anecdote, it's pretty wild. Because I was like, I literally told my dad one day that this is what I want to do. And then the very next day is when I get a call from him saying that my neighbor has a space that he is willing to rent out for you. It's fucking wild. Before I go on, I actually want to give some shout outs. I want to thank Josh Bearden of Nevermore Recordings, Adam Sisko, and Rolly Ulug. Sorry, Rolly, if I pronounce your last name wrong. I want to thank these three gentlemen in specific. Over the past few years, I have sent them god-awful mixes and asked, what can I do to improve? And while they reluctantly probably was like, you need to stop doing this. No, they helped me. They helped me along the way when they didn't have to, because they have their own lives. They have their own clients. They have their own studios. They have their own everything. They have their own shit going on. And they went out of their way to help me. Even in the most minute way possible, they still did. And I will be forever grateful for them. Next, I want to shout out my ex-employers. My homie Trevor, Catherine, and Jenny. Those three individuals, though working for them in separate businesses, allowed me to do what I wanted to do in my personal life outside of working for them. And what I mean by that is they allowed me to take as much time off I needed to tour, to record an album or albums, and record the bands that I have recorded, to play any local gig, and just literally anything. There are so few employers that I have worked for that gave a shit about what I did outside of my job, because they're like, well, we need you. They don't. And I'm like, really? Well, then I'm out of here. I could go on about, I will actually tell you a story of what inspired me the most to open up a recording studio. I'll get into that later, though. So when I quit my day job, I don't have a job lined up. I don't. Well, if you count self-employment apps like Instacart and DoorDash, a job lined up for you, that's what I got going on. Am I going to be making fuck tons of money? No. For me, it's not about making a fuck ton of money, although I do have bills to pay. I do need to pay my bills. For me, my life has always been get up, go to work, hang out with friends, possibly play a show, go to a show sometimes, sleep, rinse, repeat. For the most part, it's go to work, go to sleep, rinse, repeat. Have my days off, do the same shit. That's been my life for 34 years. There has not really been a point in my life where I said, I need to do something for myself now. And that is no knock on my ex-employers. But I think they would agree with me when I say that sometimes you do need to move on from what you're used to and be a little uncomfortable. I know for a fact any business owner, any entrepreneur will say that at one point they worked for somebody, and when it came time for them to wanting to do their own thing, that their bosses were like, fucking do it, I support you. Those three people that I mentioned, my ex-employers, support the shit out of me doing it, which is wonderful. It's of course it's sad. I'm not going to be working for them because they're all wonderful people. But now I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, dude, I know I got to do something for myself now. I have to. They have inspired me because they are young business owners living in Orange County in 2021. Why can't I do that? Of course I can do that. So I'm going to. I have to. That's never to say that I can never work for somebody again. However, if I have the option to not work for somebody else, I'd like to try that out. That's just what I'm going to do. Starting this YouTube channel was like kind of like my first glimpse of like this is something that like I like doing because I can do it on my own time. And that's why I haven't really been posting a lot, because I didn't really have the time. And the time that I did have was spent with friends or myself. And I didn't really have a lot of motivating factors in order to do YouTube. I'm not monetized. I don't have a fuck ton of subscribers, which I don't care. But at the same time, a lot of the times when I would get home from work, I would want to do a movie review of a movie I just saw, like Eternals or fucking like Shang-Chi or something Star Wars or something just that I saw on Netflix that I really, really liked. And I haven't done anything like that in a long time because I just didn't have the motivation to do that. And now, since I don't have a day job and I have a lot of fucking free time on my hands, I'll probably be a little bit more motivated to want to continually do something. Because it's not to say that I can't do something and be happy. I'm fine sitting at home by myself not doing shit. I'm happy as fuck doing that. So all I need is my Netflix and my Hulu or Disney Plus or Amazon or whatever the fuck. I'm good to go. I can entertain myself in many, many ways, you know? But when it comes to my purpose in life, as weird as that sounds, I didn't know what that was. I still don't know if I do know what that is. But what I do know is that I want to create things. And I want to create things that are cool. And I also want to create things that are heavy or poppy or catchy, you know? So I'm going to record bands that I like, that I think are sick, that are whatever genre they want to be completely honest. I'll record fucking anybody. It's cool, except EDM and country, because I can't stand that shit. But, well, if a country artist pays me enough, maybe. But, you know, with this entrepreneurial step that I'm taking, I don't know a lot. In fact, I know zero. You know, a lot of people in my family started their own businesses, and they've been working out for them. Now, the business that I'm starting is very, very niche. It's very hard. But I'm willing to do what I have to do in order to get the job done. I've never been more motivated for anything in my entire life. So, I wanted to tell that story about kind of what inspired me to really do this. So, a few years ago, I used to work at a 5-star hotel in Newport Coast, California. Now, I made a lot of money working there. But the problems with working there was this. I didn't have time off to do really what I wanted to do. I couldn't tour. I could play shows, but I had to ask for them off like way far in advance. And if it was a weekend, I had to bite my fucking fingernails off, hoping to God I got the show off. And if I didn't, then I'd call out of work and be like, I'm fucking sick. I'm not coming in. And I haven't had to do that in 6 years because my other employers after working at the hotel were like, fucking, you have a show this day and I already scheduled you. Well, your show is more important. I can figure it out. And that is just like, I can never really say into words what that meant to me, to my former employers that did allow me to do what I wanted to do. Like, it goes unnoticed for the rest of my life. In fact, in the Set Sights record that I recorded in 2017, I thanked my boss, Trevor, in the thank you section because there was a time when I had a tour coming up a few months in advance. I let him know. He gave me it off. And then the day I came home from that tour is when we had booked our next tour. And I'm like, hey, in like 4 weeks, I'm going to be leaving for another 3 weeks again. And he's like, okay. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. That's fine. Just let me know when you can come back. I'm like, fucking okay. You know, like that doesn't happen. Having that being said to me instead of my bosses at a movie theater or at a hotel that I worked at saying, well, you might not have a job. It was scary because I had to pick and choose. And the story that I'm about to tell is a story where I had to pick and choose. So when I worked at this hotel, I had a gig that was brought to me to go to Europe for 2.5 weeks in the summer of 2014. I was getting paid. I had my accommodations paid for. I had a per diem. And it was a sweet gig because it was with a band that that I had previously played with that was getting more up there. And when I told my work about the tour, they were very supportive. They were like, that's an amazing opportunity. We support you. Then they asked when the time off was. Now, to preface this next part, I was never allowed to take time off during the peak season at that hotel, mainly the summer, June 21st to Labor Day. Couldn't take any time off, no matter what it was, even if it was one day off because family was in town. Couldn't take the day off because that was a time off request, and you just couldn't do that. So I missed out on a lot of things. I missed out on a lot of birthdays, 4th of July parties, back when I used to party. I missed out on a lot of opportunities just in general to even just live a normal life with my friends and family. So when this tour opportunity came up, I told them it's from the beginning of July till the end of July. And they said, well, we don't know. Why don't you just put in the time off anyway and see what happens? So I did. And guess what? They told me no, that I couldn't go. Now, most musicians would say, well, fuck you, I'm out of here. I was 26 years old at the time. I was saving up money to move out on my own. I was living with my parents at the time, and I didn't want to financially burden my parents. So what did I do? I didn't go on that tour. I missed out on 3 weeks of what probably could have been one of the best tours I ever did in my entire life. I was very torn. It took me a long time to figure out, did I even want to have that job? Now, I told this story to my dad when we took a road trip, and he was like, you are the biggest fucking idiot of all time. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, your mom and I would have done anything in the world to help you. And I'm like, fucking A, man. But I was so scared at the time because I was 26. I thought I had to have my life figured out. I thought I had to do everything on my own. But my parents were like, dude, you're stupid. Like, you're fucking stupid. But they mean that in the most loving way possible, of course. So I was like, I know, I am fucking stupid. And I lived my life as I did normally. I was just like, whatever, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that when I have the time. And then I started working in restaurants, locally owned restaurants, that were like, hey, we know you have a life outside of us, and we want you to do those things because we want to keep you happy, and we want you to, live your life to the best of its potential. And again, I cannot thank my ex-employers enough for those opportunities that they allowed me to have, because they literally didn't have to, especially over the last year and a half with COVID. Even though that's kind of when I started really, really, really deep diving into audio production and producing and mixing and mastering, they could have been like, no, we're in a pandemic. You need to be here 7 days a fucking week. But they didn't do that. And I'm like, I sometimes I can't believe it. But I'm very thankful. Again, I'm very thankful. This part of my life is going to be very scary. I'm going to struggle financially. And that's okay. Because the reward will be a lot greater. At least I'd like to think so. Now, I'm not of a capitalist mindset. I'm not in this to make fuck tons of money. However, if I do want to live in the United States of America under a capitalist regime, which I don't, but if I do, because I do, I have to adapt my surroundings. I have to make enough money where I live in order to sustain a roof over my head and food in my belly. In other words, I don't want to die. That's another video in and of itself, which I might make, hopefully. Maybe. Politics in 2021, very dicey. But I have a lot of friends and family who are behind me on this. I want to thank personally a lot of friends right now. And if I forget some people, know that I'm still thinking of you anyways. Tim Nieto, Arturo Calleros, the band The John Candy. I'm going to name Trevor, Kochek, Catherine Nost, Jennifer Knapp, Amber Paredes, David Baki, Jordan Soto, all of Taker's Levers, A Cold Hells, Jason Hernandez, the band Differences, my parents, my sisters, all of my immediate family. I want to thank Noah Toomey. I want to thank, oh my gosh, I mean, like, I literally, there's so many people to name. I'm going to name Josh Bearden, Rolly Ulig, Adam Sisko again. These are people in my life, among many others, that have blessed me. You know what I mean? Graced me with their presence. Oh, Shay Dalton. If you see this, you're in that group. Kyle Rutchland. Dan Chavez. All of these people and more have been supportive of everything that I've done and everything that I will continue to do, hopefully. There are a lot of other... Amber Paredes, did I say you? Did I? If I haven't, now I have. These people have been my biggest supporters over the past year and a half. Going forward, probably too. But they've been my biggest supporters within the most recent times. You know, I have a lot more to learn. I have way more to learn. Too much more to learn. I feel like being an audio engineer is like being a doctor, in the sense of you're always learning something new, and whatever that new thing is, you got to adapt, and you got to apply it in some way, shape, and form. You got to diagnose a problem, and then you have to figure out what the solution is, and then you go in and you fix it. And again, I'm not trying to say I'm a fucking doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm scratching my back. Why, wondering why I'm looking so weird. I'm not a doctor. I'm not. I'm not trying to say that I am as smart as a doctor, because I'm not fucking smart. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm just excited to go on this journey. And to those 200 some odd subscribers to my YouTube channel, I never thought I would ever have that. And for those of you who stick around and watch my videos still, this is fucking awesome. If you've made it this far into my video, you're a fucking champion. And I fucking love you. I'm going to get Grogu in there. No. Weird front-facing camera issue. Anyways. Oh, there he is. So, also, drink Essentia only. So this part of my life is going to be scary. It's going to be different. It's going to be unusual. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get my shit up and running fully, and I don't really care. And the reason why I don't is because each day is going to be a new day, and each day is going to be something new that I'm going to learn. You know, there's so many people in my life that are helping me along the way. I like to also thank Sean Mott and my friend Kayla. She's going to make my website. My friend Sean, he's on the Metalcore Nerds. He has done a lot of graphic design work for me. Billy Barber also has done a lot of graphic design work for me in the past. And there are so many other people that I could just spout off randomly right now. But I just want to thank everybody who is watching this for kind of putting up with me, essentially. This is something new. This is something that I'm very excited for. I'm scared, but I'm excited as fuck. And I just hope that maybe you guys will go along with me on this journey. To those of you who listen to my podcast, enjoy the show. Dude, I didn't think I'd get any listeners. Me and Arturo didn't think we'd ever get any listeners. I mean, speaking for myself, I never thought so. I'm sure maybe he thought we'd get like at least some. But, you know, I fucking love every single person. I want to say that there have also been some people in my life who have disappeared. And that's okay that they have. I wish them well. I hope that they are thriving and living their best lives possible. Because I'm not one to hold a grudge. I'm not one to stay mad. I'm not one to, dwell on the past much. Now, sometimes, yes, I do miss the people that are not in my life anymore, that decided not to be. And that's okay. There are some things that just don't need to be that don't need to be dwelled on. You can move on with your life, and some people are going to be with you on that journey and some people are not. My friend Alonzo, who I used to be in the Great Commission with, used to tell me a couple things that really still resonated with me. And one of the things that he told me, and this is back in my days when I was more practicing religion, but at one point in time he said, some people are in your life for a season, and some people, that could be a couple months, a couple years, 10 years, 15, and then sometimes they just go away. And sometimes that's okay. We have to accept the fact that sometimes people in your life are just not going to be around forever because of growing up decisions, life decisions. Sometimes you're just not going to have those people in your life anymore, and that's okay. Now, do I miss these people? Of course I do. Every once in a while, I come across my Instagram and scroll through their shit, and I'm like, I know we don't really fucking talk anymore, but god damn it, I miss you. But to those people who decided that their paths no longer can be in line with mine, I do wish you the best. I really hope so. I really hope the best for you. And I hope that maybe one day we can sit at the same table and eat together again. I really hope so. So I just wanted to make this video for that. Dark Side Studios will be open next year. And boy, I can't wait to work with any of you, all of you. Whoever is in need of recording, mixing, mastering, a studio space to record their podcast out of, a studio space to, just hang out sometimes. I'm here. More information will be presented when the time comes. But for now, this video will serve as that. So, my website will be up and running whenever it does. I don't know. Currently working on that. But I'm very excited. And I hope that this video was inspiring. Not inspiring. I'm not an inspiring person. But I hope that if anyone who is doubting themselves on starting a business because they don't think they can do it, maybe you can take away something from this. Or not. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't it's up to you with what you do with it, But thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like, hit the subscribe button, share this around with your friends. See you in the next video, guys. Have a good night.